All right, I'm gonna show you how to go through and do a heater core on one of these G12 model. The heater core is actually up in right there. See that line right here? See the water? You see right there where the water's been coming out of it, been leaking? Sorry, my camera won't focus. See the water been leaking on it? So I gotta go through and take it apart. I also see the arm for the HVAC done fell down there. This thing right here has, it looks like it's been broke. So we gotta pull this thing out and see what's going on with it. You can see the lines, see the two lines right there coming through the heater core. Come right here on your shifter and pop it up. Take a little screwdriver on each side, pop it loose, pick it up, get that out, lay it in the back, and that gets us started. And we start getting some of this stuff up out of here so we can get to it. Another thing you can do is you go ahead and get this out your way. Just pop back right here on this. Boom, right there. You just had little pull clips you just pop. Then you come in here and you release all your wiring harness. There's a clip there. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'll pull this out. This has this push clips that you pick up on it here. Look there, there. You just pop it loose, and then you come up in here and you just pop out on it. Now that I have that out, that gives me access to this bolt right here. I'm gonna pull this bolt right here. It looks like it might be a 13. So now I pulled that lower bolt out. I come up here and I start prying up on this. I just took my screwdriver and start unlocking it. I start unlocking it all the way around like that, and get this whole top section out. Let me get over on the other side real quick. So I just pop, pop. All right, so now that I got this loose, here's the switch is right over here. Should be a little push connector on top of it to unplug it. I pull this side out, set it in the back of the car. I come over here, grab this one, pick up, pull out, because they just lock in. They lock in out here on that, and then that just slides in to hold it in. Throw it in the back of the car. That'll give me access to them bolts. Those are all 13 millimeters across. There's two on that side, two on this side. That should allow my top part of my dash. But before I do that, I gotta come over here to this side. Just use the trash, hurry up through, and pop this little piece right here up out of it. To go through and give me some more access and some more visual, I reach up in here and grab this, and I'll pull this down, and then those little clips right there, they pop, so you'll pull out on them. So the real easy way to do this is take a screwdriver and to push up right here to unpop these, like this right here, on each side, and just kind of push back to unlock it. That's the easiest way to get it to where you can pop it and start pulling it out. Now that I got all that out of my way, I'm gonna come right over here. I'm gonna start pulling the bolt out of the dash. I'm gonna start unhooking my harnesses to get them up and out of my way. All right, to get this loose, there's a push clip right here. You push in and you pull back on that. And that's how you unhook those harnesses. Right there, boom. Like I said, you gotta just unlock them because they lock right on the edge. That gets this harness loose. Oh, sorry. So that should be everything as far as the dash on this side. I got the lower bolt there. So now we got to start looking up here at our steering column, because our column is hooked to our dash and our dash is hooked to our firewall. We need to start looking at about getting this unhooked. There's a switch right here. I can already tell you right here for the gas pedal, we're gonna have to unhook it. So come reach up in there, and all it is just a push clip. You just squeeze it and pull it loose. Right there, that gets that loose. Boom, and hooks it to the harness. There's also a clip right here that hooks for the pedal. Once you come up in here and you pop that clip right there, sorry if my camera can't. Once you pop that back, you push in right here, you unplug that. And that goes with the dash. That comes back over here with it. So since I always typically pull my steering column out of the way, I want to come up in here and start unplugging some things. T20 torch bit, come in here, put the bottom bolt out of it. Before we start unlocking stuff, you pull down on this handle here, and there's a bolt hole right there I've done removed, and there's a bolt on that other side right here I've done removed up in here. This allows this panel here to come down, lay it in the back. It allows the top one to come off too. We can just take it off, set them both in the back. Now we can get to our electrical plug. And I don't know if I've already said this or not, But make sure you go out there and you unhook your battery before you start unplugging stuff. So your airbag, just for safety precautions. So now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna go through and start unhooking all these connections real quick. Just like anything else, anytime you got these little plugs here, these little connectors, there's always one direction for it to come out. And all it'll do is just slide out just barely, so you can squeeze that and pull that down from there. Then we also got a connector right there that pushes in. You just wiggle it side to side. You come in here, you unhook this one. There's also a connector there that we're gonna have to wiggle to get to pull out, or I can take and split it from the zip tie or whatever. Split the zip tie. We got another connector over here on the side we push and pull out. We got one right here. We got to push and pull out. I'm gonna do it with 2 hands. All right, I got those underneath. You got one up here on top. You connect. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, should get this loose. Now we have our shift lock right here, our shift piece for our shifter. It goes down here. It's our cable piece. We got to take it out. We can either pull it loose over here. To pull it loose, all it is this right here. That little tab locks in, and then you just turn around and pry up on it. Pry up on it while pushing that. So much more challenging doing a video. Like I said, hold on one second. There we go. You got it loose. So now that it's loose, it's just a cable that pops out right there. You just slide it out. Now I can pull my cable out and around. See, somebody's been here monkeying with it, because look right there. That's the HVAC. Somebody broke the freaking piece. Somebody's already been up in this thing. Look at that. Totaled. I'll have to figure that out. Man, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh well, we're gonna get down there. We're gonna figure out what all it needs and replace it. So now I got this loose. I'm gonna come up in here. I'm gonna take my 13s here. I'm gonna take my 13 loose right there on the steering link. I'm gonna set this column out of my way, that way I don't have to deal with the weight of it. All right, so now that I've pulled my steering link bolt loose, there was a bolt right here, a bolt right here. I gotta pull that last bolt right there, and I can pull my column out of it. This takes a lot of weight out. Now when you take this out, it's very important to keep this thing as straight as possible. Make the wheel straight and pull out as possible, because if you get this thing off, if you spin 180 degrees, when you go to turn, you're gonna break the clock spring in here. A couple $100 part. You don't want to do that. So just make sure when you take this out, you set it somewhere and you set it down on the ground easily, out of the way, where this wheel cannot be spinning. Don't let your kid come over here and start spinning the wheel and stuff like that. It's gonna cost you some money. So just make sure you go through, and when you pull this whole thing out, you keep it as straight as possible. Do not wiggle it, do not mess with it, just keep it like you need it. So I realized that there's a pin right here. You gotta pull this bracket right here out to be able to get to that last little bolt that's above it. So let me spin it out real quick. Hold on one second. So now pull that out, throw it in the back. There's my last bolt to get my column out of it real quick. Let's get it out. And once you get it off your studs down there, this just takes a simple just pull. Like I said, make sure you hold on to this so they don't just spin around, because now it's movable. You gotta make sure that you don't tear your stuff up. So I'm gonna go set it on the ground out of the way. Now that I have everything secure and safe out of the way, to figure out, well, what else I need to do. It looks like, I don't know if this stuff attaches to the dash or not. We'll have to see, because I might have to take some of this out, I might not. But I do got all the connections unput, other than this one. I need to unplug that connection there. Then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna pull my bolts out up in there, get that all detached. Those 4 right there, 2 13s, 2 10s. I got those bolts out. So now let's go up here and start pulling the top dash bolts. We got 2 here, 2 over there. They're 13 millimeters. Pull my top bolts out. Now I'm gonna pull this loose so that way I'm not attached to my heater box. So it looks like I might be attached over here too. Let me look. Let me feel right here. No. All right, so we got that loose. So now let's figure out This right here probably pops off. I probably gotta pull it loose if I had to guess, because it's usually tied in somewhere strong, sturdy. Looking around, seeing if I see anything else. Well, I see that bolt right there. Gotta pull that bolt out. Let's get it loose real quick. Like on GMs, I see you gotta pop this out too, right here. It just pops up in here. Just let that hang. I'll go to the other side and pop. I just stuck a screwdriver in behind of it and popped it out of the way. I might see if I can't pull that out. Probably just had to squeeze or something on it, figure out, get it out of my way real quick. Bracket down here that we took the bolts out of, they mounts down here to the floor. Plus we have a wiring harness that runs back. So it's gonna be easier to pull the console out. So I'm gonna come in here. You got 2 bolts down in here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out. All right, those 2 bolts loosen a lot of stuff up. So this one here, take it loose. Let's see. There we go. So now I realize we got one more bolt down here too. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this, so take y'all along for the ride. So right there, that. Now we got the console out, we can get in here and get access to this bolt. It's like 13 millimeters, half inches, whichever one you prefer to use. I got one there and one back up in there. It looks like I need to take loose. I'm also need to go ahead, I'm probably gonna pull up on this and pop this loose to get it out of my way. So let's start by, before we do any of that, all you gotta do with these little clips is just keep pulling up a little bit, like that. That gets that out of my way. All right, the dash is still tight and I see a 10 going up there, so I'm gonna take that 10 loose. I might even take that ½ inch back there loose. Let me pull the 10 loose first and see what it does for me. Okay, the radio don't have to be removed. Them bolts just hold this plastic piece. I did realize there is a clip here that when I pull back, it's unlocking. So let me get over here on the other side. I think this thing needs to be lifted up because I think this goes down in there and that's what's holding us. So let me go on the other side and do a little snugging. I still feel like there's something tugging in here. So let's take a 7 millimeter and take that bolt out and then pop this bezel. This is connected on this side. So once you pull that top bolt out, right there on that one, these all just snap in on there. Now I can get these bolts out. Might just because oh no, I see right there. Right there's my bolts. See them hidden in there? Them 2 10s. So you gotta pull this bezel off to get to them 2 10s that bolt that part. That's what's holding us in right there. So I'm gonna leave the cluster. Well, now I gotta take the cluster out. I can't get the thing on. So let's take a Phillips head, take these 4 bolts out of here and pull this out. All right, I pulled my 2 little 10s out right there. Like I said, all that goes together for that bracket. That should free me up on, be able to pull this thing up out here. Let me pick up on it right quick, see what it'll do. So I took this little Phillips head out right here to give me a little bit more flexibility on this. So when I'm trying to move the thing around, it's moving a little bit more. I might go and pull that Phillips head out too, just to make sure there ain't something back there holding it. Ultimately, right down in there, see that little tab, that little ear down there? That's what we're fighting, trying to get out. We gotta get that to unlock. Once that comes up and out, then we can go through and get this thing loose. All right, I was right. So it was just this corner right here, and it was a pain in the butt. You had to push way in to get this unlocked. Sounds like you're breaking stuff when you're breaking. Now pull your wire out for your antenna for your radio. Just lay it outside. Make sure you ain't got nothing else connected over there. Make sure ain't nothing connected over there, Billy. Anything else connected?
Yeah, there's one wire right here.
So it looks like I got my blower motor here to unplug, and then whatever this wire is, I gotta trace it out and unhook it. So that's the airbag wire stuff. So I gotta go through and pull the grommet loose. So we pulled the air box up out of it so we could get here to this sensor. You gotta push back, unlock it like that. Take the tab, push in. It's hard to do one-handed. Gotta unlock these clips right here. Get your pair of pliers.
Give me five.
And now I got it. You take your pair of pliers like this and pull those out. There's one more back over here. And then I got this harness. I had to unhook the ABS sensor in the wheel well here. All right, so now I laid the dash back up here on the car. I left all that stuff hooked up there. Just laid it back. I gotta get up in here now and figure out how to get the heater core out of the box. Start taking the box loose. All right, so you had to pull one bolt here, unhook your AC lines, unhook your heater core, and then there's 2 bolts in here on the bottom of the heater box. at the floorboard, 2 little nuts down there. You pull them out, and that gets your heater box out. Now you can get it out to disassemble your box to go through and figure out what all you need to do to put the heater core in it.